our webinar session. Today we have, with popular demand, Ms. Rakhee Chhabria coming back to us and talking to us about the digital tools for online teaching. A little bit about her before she begins. She is a certified early childhood care and education teacher, also has completed her master's in special education from SNDT University, Mumbai. She is a strong believer in continuous professional development. So it's good that, she is bringing these programs to us, and we are, benefiting from that professionally as well. So in 2015, Rakhee initiated Teachers Help Teachers as an online Facebook support group and website where teachers can interact, avail guidance on pedagogies, share information, upload and download resources, and become aware of employment opportunities and upgrade their knowledge, and so on. So there's so much that teachers help teachers do. In fact, Rakhee ma'am has put in the Facebook address. During the pandemic, she has discovered and conducted several workshops online, including with us, as I said before. And it is the need of the hour, even though slowly we are coming back to normal, physical schooling, we yet do need a certain understanding with online tools. So the platform is yours, Rakhee.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you, Rashna, for the wonderful introduction. And I'm happy to be here back with Sopan. And when Shobha called me and she said that, we need to learn some tech tools, I'm always ready and more than ever happy. And as you rightly said, that I believe in self-learning. I believe in continuous professional development. So yes, so just like all of you, I'm also a learner, and today we're going to learn together. And I'm so happy to see all of you on Thursday evening. I know it's raining, the moods are different, but I promise I won't take more than an hour, because today we are going to be covering only 2 tools, and I won't make it, very complicated. We'll go step by step with 2 great tools which you can use, integrate with your lessons and with your teaching strategies that you would be using in your classroom. And with this, I would also like to showcase my website to all of you. I don't know how many of you are aware of Teachers Help Teachers, but for those of you who are not aware, allow me to share my screen so I can just show you a brief snippet of what we have created for all you educators. And yep, is the screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, great. So this is Teachers Help Teachers, and we have curated a website that allows every educator like you to come, log in and download resources, upload your own resources that you have made in the past, because I believe that as educators, we are always creating content, and we are also always looking out for new ideas from other educators, so that we don't waste our time on searching for ideas, but rather we utilize our time on implementing those ideas. So what if there would be a place created where Indian educators can share with one another the ideas that they have tried and tested, the resources that they have tried and tested, so that the time that we take in researching would be saved, and the time that we take in implementation would be more, so that our students benefit from that time that we are giving them, right? So this is the website that is created for all educators. It's free. You can come in, you can download resources, you can upload resources. You also have a choice to sell your resource. So some of the resources are also priced at a nominal cost, which you will see in the next pages. Once you move ahead, we have more than 600 resources, and I started this website way back in 2018, and since then I have been encouraging educators wherever I go. I have been encouraging educators to share the resources, upload their resources that they can share, and also download resources if at all they find something which matches with their teaching strategy in the classroom. So this is all about Teachers Help Teachers. As I said, it's a completely open source free website. You can come or log in. We also have other activities. We have blogs. We do awards. So you will find a lot of information on the website about the activities that we do. And we also have a Facebook group, which has more than 10,000 educators. And if you wish to join the Facebook group and be a part of the same, then you can do so. I'm just sharing the link in the chat box. It's called Teachers Help Teachers. Here it is. So I've shared the link for those of you who would be interested in being a part of the community and staying in touch. You can do so by clicking on the link and joining the community of Teachers Help Teachers. So let's begin with today's session. And before we begin with today's session, if I may ask, are all of you from Mumbai? Type, yes, if you're from Mumbai. If you're from any other location, please type your location and let me know from where are you joining. If you could also let me know, what are you, whether you're a student, whether you're a teacher. If you could also type next to that yes, Mumbai student or Mumbai teacher or Pune student, Pune teacher. So your location and your profile, what do you do? So if you could just type that quickly in the chat box, that will just help me to know you a little better before I begin with the session. Come on, let's get our fingers, let's exercise our fingers on the keypad and let's get them rolling in the chat box. Okay, Ruchi says from Mumbai, Kushal, Ahmedabad, okay. Satvashila is Mumbai, okay. Satnam is from Sangli, great. Saili is from Mumbai, teacher. Swati is Mumbai, teacher. Kiran is from Mumbai. Sambrama is student. Sana is Mumbai, teacher. Okay, special educator. Shivam is Mumbai, special educator. Anam is Mumbai. Avni is student. Great, great. Thank you. So we have a mix of students, special educator, teachers. We also have a parent, Dr. Sadhana. Okay, Pune, you're from Pune, professor and parent. That's lovely. Supriya from Ratnagiri. Great. Ahmedabad, teacher. Steffi. Great. Arisha is a special educator. Lovely. Great to have you all. Niti is a student. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much for all those replies. Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you, Madhuri. Therapist. All right. Thank you for all the replies. And that kind of just helps me to know you a little better and understand that, how and what kind of examples that I can give. Because in every session, my examples are different depending on the kind of audience that I'm catering to. So great, great. Welcome. And I hope that you will be able to go back with some good strategies to try in your classroom. So let us begin with today's session. I'll just take a moment to start my presentation. Yeah. Share screen. All right. All right, just a brief introduction. I'm Rakhee Chhabria, mother of two boys, a former classroom teacher, founder of Teachers Help Teachers, a special educator, early childhood educator, and a technology geek. So I really believe in self-learning, and in the pandemic, I think all of us have learned a lot and upskilled ourselves. And I think we were left with no choice but to learn this time. Or all those things that we have always been avoiding and all those things which we have always been postponing. I think pandemic gave us the time to actually give attention to those things, upskill ourselves, and become a better person than what we were. I think most of you would agree with this, right? So moving ahead, today's session, we're going to be learning two tools. But before we move to those two tools, I'm just going to be asking you one question. How has the internet changed us? Now, I want all of you to type this answer in. I'm going to be sharing a link in the chat box. I want all of you to type your comment by clicking on the link. All right, I'm just sharing the link. I've shared the link. Once you click on the link will take you, if you're on your phone or if you're on your laptop, it will take you to that particular address. And all you need to do is type your answer. And once you type your answer, I will be able to see it on the screen, and I will be able to share the screen as well. So you can just click on this link in the chat box that I have shared with you. And we are going to be answering the question, how has internet changed us? The question also is typed in the slide. You will be directed to a slide, which is a Mentimeter slide, where you just have to put in your answer. In case anyone has a difficulty, you can let me know. Another way of doing this is, if you're on the phone, you want to be quick, then you can just go to menti.com and type in the code which is shared in the chat box, 4635-3580.
So Rakhee, I'm not sure about the others, but I'm getting the question saying that what do you feel about today's session?
This is what you will be directed to. How has the internet changed us? Are you getting that question?
Let me try again.
Okay. The code is 4635-3580. So you just have to type www.menti.com. And once you go to menti.com, you can just type the code 4635-3580, and you will be, on this slide where you can answer the question, how has the internet changed us? I don't see anybody in right now. Okay, yeah. There we go. The answers are coming on the screen. You can type in a sentence, or you could type in a word. Go to menti.com, use the code, enter the code, and you will be directed to the question. Yeah, provide resources, yes. And I think in the lockdown, we were actually bombarded with a lot of resources online. Absolutely. We became a facilitator. It made our task easier. It improved our efficiency, explored new possibilities, became sedentary. The lifestyle became sedentary. Yep. Any more answers coming in before it has given us new opportunities, new ways to be connected? Absolutely. New possibilities, new ways to learn. All communication barriers have been put aside. So you can see that as everyone is typing their answers, the answers appear out here in the form of a cloud. And if those answers are repeated, then those words become a little bigger in size. And that's how we come to know that, okay, most of the learners are answering that are using that particular answer. So this is basically, this activity is basically used before or at the end of a session, where you get a chance to interact with your learners or with your audience and understand, what they think about something. The question could be anything that you can ask them. It could be anything. I have asked about how internet changes, because we're going to be talking about tech tools, right? So this is how the answers appear, and you can share the screen with your audience, with your classroom, and let everyone read those answers. And this could also become like a prompt for your learners before you are about to begin a new topic, or before you are asking them to start writing an essay, or you're asking them to write something, depending on what you're teaching. So this is how this particular tool, Mentimeter, comes to use. So now this was basically, I'm going to stop my screen share, and we're going to go to the tool. So this was basically to help you understand that when we start a session which is online, we are always in a hurry to finish what we have to finish, without actually laying emphasis on the engagement part, right? So the engagement is something that these tech tools help us with. And there are a variety of tech tools. Now, I just gave an example of one tool, and that was something that I always use. I'm not going to be teaching that, but it was just an example as to how you can use Mentimeter. You can explore Mentimeter. It's pretty simple. It allows you to create slides. There are different format of slides. You can create your different formats, and you can use it in your classroom just the way I used it in our classroom today, right? So moving ahead, we're going to be learning two tools today, and those two tools are Padlet, and we are also going to be doing quizzes, right? So which one would you like to do first, Padlet or quizzes? Just mention in the chat box if you would like to do Padlet first, or if you would like to do quizzes. Just mention the name, which one would you like to do today to begin with. Depending on the response, I will take up Padlet. Okay, Steffi says Padlet. One vote for Padlet, 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 Padlet. Okay, we've got 5 votes, 6 votes. All right, so we begin with Padlet since the votes have come for Padlet. I think everybody seems to be excited to know what Padlet is all about. So Padlet is a wonderful tool, a very, very simple tool. As you can see that I am on Padlet right now, but I will also let you know how we can go to Padlet and how we can sign in and how we can start using Padlet. Now, Padlet is a wonderful collaborative tool, and at the same time, it acts like a communication board, where it helps the teacher to ask questions to students and allow the students to also communicate with one another, to express their thoughts, to record probably something that they are studying, or even for that matter to have a kind of timeline study that is going on. So for example, if you're a history teacher, if you're teaching something in history, or you're teaching something in geography, and you want to create a timeline as to what we covered today and what we have covered tomorrow, what we're going to be covering tomorrow, so it allows us to create those kind of different boards. So Padlet helps us to create different boards. So just like in our classroom we have our own board, out here Padlet provides us with a variety of different e-boards, different formats, different e-boards, and it kind of helps us to take our classroom to the next level, where it allows us to engage with our learners. Because I believe that in online learning, if you're not able to engage with your learners, if you're not able to involve them in activities or group activities, or allow them to express themselves, then I think we lose out on that engagement and communication, and the social emotional aspect of being together, of the community bonding. So we lose out on that, right? So this tool actually allows us to do all of those. Now, how do we start using Padlet? So I'm just going to type Padlet.com, and I'm going to land up on the website. Now, since I'm already logged in, it's going to take me to my board that I have already created. For those of you who are not logged in, you can use your Google account to sign in, because that's the easiest way. I usually use my Google account to sign in to any of the tools, rather than creating a sign up from beginning. So use any of your Google account to sign in. The free Padlet account allows you to create 3 Padlets, right? Now you might be wondering, only 3. So what do we do? How do we use multiple Padlets if we want to use? So in that case, what you can do is your Padlets, you can delete it, right? So once you delete your Padlet, you will be able to use it again. And in that case, what I do is I'm also using the free account. So in that case, I delete my Padlets and I use it again. I delete my Padlets and I use it again. So that's how I'm able to use my Padlets n number of times, as compared to using it just 3 times and letting it go and then creating some other account, right? So once you delete it, your problem is solved. Right. So now you will be seeing that once you enter, you sign up, you create your account, and you will be on the dashboard. Now the dashboard appears like this. What you see in front of you. So everyone able? Is everyone with me? Type yes if everyone is with me, so that I can proceed ahead. Yes. Let me check my chat. I'm going to keep the comment section on, so in case of any questions, I can answer them. Yes, everyone with me. Great, thank you. Thank you so much. So once we are on the Padlet desk dashboard, all you need to do is we need to make a Padlet, right? Now, if you want to create a Padlet, let me go here. So when I go to Padlet, I will see that, these are the Padlets that I have created. So you will be able to look at that. Now, when you sign up, you will not see any Padlet that is created, right? Because you have entered, you have made your account for the first time, and you're going to be making your Padlets, right? So you will see a variety of options. So for example, if I want to make a Padlet out here, I will go to this edition button out here and click on make a Padlet. Now, when I click on making a Padlet, it shows me all these options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just a moment. Yeah, so sorry about it. So once you click on Padlet, make a Padlet, you will be seeing all these options out here. So there will be a wall, there will be a stream view, grid view, shelf, and there will be all these other options which you can see: map, canvas, timeline. Now you might be wondering, what are all these options? Because Padlet are like e-boards, as I said. So in that case, how do we have so many different styles of e-boards? So every e-board allows us to achieve another objective, right? So it depends basically on your teaching objective, what exactly, which Padlet you would like to create. So for example, I'm going to be showing you all these Padlets, and we'll see how we can work around. Now, for example, if I want to create this wall Padlet, which I have already created out here, so I'm just going to go back and I'm just going to present that so that we can save time and I can show you more. So here is my first Padlet. Right. Now, as a practice, not this one, this one. Now, as a practice, what I do is every Monday, before my students log in. So if 8:30 is the login, before my students log in, what I do is, on a Monday morning around 7:30, I usually have this question posted. I create a wall and I post this question. Now, Padlet wall is usually used to ask any question, open-ended question that you would like your learners to answer. So for example, every Monday, I use this question of blue and yellow, right? Now, blue and yellow is like a game where I ask them that, okay, create a post to share one yellow thing, that is one thing that made you feel good about the weekend, and one blue thing, which was not so good about the weekend. So in that case, what am I allowing my learners to do before they log in for my class? I'm actually helping them to express before they log in, because on a Monday morning they have lots of things to share, especially the younger ones. They want to share everything. So what I do is I create this Padlet. I'm also going to show how do we create this, but this is just an example where I ask them that, okay, you can share one thing that is yellow and you can share one thing that is blue. So this yellow and blue is repeated every week on a Monday morning, and children by default are very excited to write about what they did over the weekend, which was very good and which was not so good or not enjoyable by them. So this is one activity which is created in the form of a wall. Now, when I go over here, how I create it is I just click on the edition and I want to create a wall wherein I want to ask an open-ended question to my learner. So I click on select. It'll say starting your Padlet. By default, you will see that there is this background that has been selected. Of course, you can change your background. You can customize your e-board or your Padlet to look the way exactly you want to look. Now, title, all right? Now you need to give a title to your Padlet. So let's say if I'm asking you, how has the internet changed changed you, right? So I'm asking you this question before you log in for my session, right? Now, description, describe in one sentence, right? So I'm also asking you, I'm giving you an example as to how do you describe how internet has changed you. So you described only in one sentence, and I don't want paragraphs and paragraphs coming in, right? So I'm making it very clear. Now you will see this icon. Now, what is this icon? Icon is basically any kind of smiley that you want to put up, any kind of image that you want to put up, which associates with the activity that you are sharing with your learners. So now that I am talking about internet, so maybe I can have a laptop. If I can find one, there is one laptop out here. I have used it. Yeah. So this is the laptop, right? I have added the laptop out here, laptop icon. Then as we move down, we have the unique link to your Padlet. So this is the unique link to your Padlet, or you can just simply copy this link and share it with your learners in the chat, in the Google chat, or you can also share it in the Google Classroom, or when you are live with them, you can also share it in the chat box that you're live with them, right? So if you're using Microsoft Team, or you're using Zoom, or you're using Google Meet, in the chat box, you can type this link and you can ask your learners to go and fill in the answers. Now, if you don't want it to be a live activity, you can just ask them to copy the link, open it in the browser, and maybe you can also share it. I don't know how all of you are sharing your assignments, whether you all are doing it on Google Classroom or Teams. So whichever LMS, learning management system, you are using, you can definitely post the link over there in the chat box, or you can embed it into your Google Classroom as well, right? Now, if you want to embed it in your Google Classroom, it will take you a little bit more time as compared to just sharing it on WhatsApp or chat, depending on what your communication with your students is like. So I just simply copy paste this. Then appearance. Now, over here, by default, there is a wallpaper. So if I want to change my appearance and I just want to give it like one single color, depending on what I'm looking at. So I'm just going to give it a single color, and that's about it. I'm going to go back, right? I go back, I've selected a single color. You can select, of course, a variety of wallpapers are there. If you have a lot of time, you can spend a lot of time and select, some beautiful wallpapers, but I'm just going to I'm choosing a solid color out here. Color scheme, I usually keep it to the first one, which is tick mark. I don't get into, the color scheme. Font, again, I don't get into the font. I just click on the first one, which is by default clicked out here for me. And then we have attribution, display author name above each post. Now, in this case, if you want this feature to be activated, where everyone who will be posting their names will appear on the top. Now, if you want this feature to be activated, you can activate that. If you don't want this feature, and if you want to leave it to the students that, if they want to type their name, they can type their name, or if they do not wish to type their name and just type in the answers, that's also fine. So it all depends. What is the activity that you are giving them? What is the question that you're asking them? Is the question assessing them on something? Then yes, we need to see their names and their answers. If the question is open-ended and it is just meant for fun and engagement, then you can, probably allow them to choose whether they want to share their names, or whether, they want to just type in the answer and leave their names aside. Usually children like to share their names and they like to see their names with their answers, right? So I do not alter this as well. Comments, allow viewers to comment. I keep this off because I know sometimes children can comment on other students post in a way or in a manner which is not acceptable. So I've usually kept it off. And then over a period of time, of course, once I know my students, I've worked with them over a period of 4 to 5 months, and I know that they are not going to indulge in any kind of nasty activities, then I leave it open that okay, you can comment on someone else's answer also, right? So in the beginning, I usually keep it off, where I don't want anyone to comment on anybody's expression or answer that has been given. That's something very important. Reactions, of course, you can have it where somebody, it's like on Facebook, where if I like something, I have a like icon or a love icon. So it's similar out here, where you can give a reaction to a particular answer or to a particular post. So you can have that also off or on, depending as to what exactly is your objective. I usually keep it off. Then if you go down, you will see content filtering requires approval. So for example, whatever comments. Now, for example, when I'm going to be sharing this Padlet link with all of you are going to be busy typing your answers. Now, if I'm not sure, what kind of answers I'm going to be getting in, if I don't know my students, so I'm going to have this require approval on, so that, I'm able to moderate the kind of answers that can be shown up on the screen, because I don't want any kind of vulgar answers to be shown up, or I don't want anything which is unwanted to be shown up on the wall, right? So that's why require approval. So you can, if you're just beginning with your classroom, you don't know your students, then yeah, this could be activated. Otherwise, it's usually pretty safe when you're working with students in a small group. You really don't need to look at these features. In a group of 4 to 5, you really don't need to look at this. Then we have filter profanity, of course, replace bad words with nice emojis. So again, you can do this. So these are just some settings which I'm showing you. Map a domain. So if, for example, my website or my blog address, if I want my students to be directed to my blog, then I can map my domain, and I can, there are these steps which I can use to do that. Now, this is how I create my Padlet, where I enter my title, my description, I change the wallpaper, I put an icon, I have the link which is out here. I copy the link and I can share it in the chat box, or I have this unique link which I can copy and I can paste it, whichever link. So I usually use copy to clipboard, and then next. Once I do next, now we are ready to start posting, right? Now what we need to do is we all need to click. I can type my name. I can say it has made us smarter, and publish. So you know that R has replied, it has made us smarter. So similarly, if there's another student replying something else, you will see how it appears. Based on the answers that you all have already shared on Mentimeter, I'm just putting it out here. So this is how it appears. Now, the reason why it appears like this is it appears like in a brick format, because we have chosen the wall Padlet. Now, when you choose the wall Padlet, all the answers will appear in a brick format, where you will see, brick by brick, one above the other, all the answers will appear. So it has made the world. So, okay. So this is how one next to the other, brick by brick, all the answers will appear from left to right, and then against going down and left to right. So this is how your entire Padlet will look like. So this was about wall Padlet, where we are looking at maybe questions which are open-ended, or maybe a question which requires a one-line answer, or maybe something where we want our students to describe something. So for example, if we are doing let's say math, and we want them to come up with an answer of a question that you have already shared with them, then they can just type in their answers, and you will be able to see that, okay, which answer is correct and who has got it correct, right? So this wall format can be used for n number of options, depending on, again, what is the kind of question that you're asking your students, right? And depending on the kind of activity that you want to ask. So this was our Padlet format. It was a wall format. Now I'm going to go to the next one. And so this was my activity, which I just explained every Monday, where I asked them to share one yellow thing and one blue thing. So this was the wall which I created and which I used. Now, let's say we make another Padlet, and we'll go to the next one, which is I'm going to show you the most commonly used. Now, wall and grid are very similar, except that it gives you like a brick by brick layout, and grid arranges your answers in rows or boxes, right? So I've already created this Padlet in a grid format, which is out here. Now, this one, right? I'm going to be sharing this with all of you so that you all can participate. How to create the Padlet? The steps are the same. You go on the edition button, type the title. Then once you type the title, you will be able to then type the description. Once you type the description, you can change your wallpaper. Once you change your wallpaper, then you can add an icon. Whichever icon you want to add, you can add. And this is how your Padlet gets created. Now, I have asked a question out here, create the number 525 in as many ways as possible, right? So I am asking a math question out here, and I'm going to be sharing this link where I'm just going to say copy to clipboard, and I'm going to go to the chat, and I'm going to be sharing this link out here in the chat box. I want all of you to click on it. Copy to click, change privacy, secret, keep the Padlet hidden from public. If I choose to share it with someone, they should be able to access it. So just like in when we make Google Slides, there are two options: share the Google Slide link with anyone to view, and then we have another option, share the Google Slide link with anyone who can view and edit, right? So similarly, Padlet also, we have these privacy options where I have kept it secret, but at the same time, I'm sharing it with you. So if I'm sharing it with you, only you will have access to it. All those people who are participating right now in our webinar will have access to it. And the others with whom the link has not been shared, they will not have access to it, right? So that's the reason why I've kept it secret. You can also have, password or private or public, like anybody can look at it and answer your or get into the Padlet. So it depends what you're looking at. So I can see that there are answers being shown, 500 plus 20 plus 5. Great. So as I was talking about, writing your name. So it's completely your choice whether you want to write your name on top and then provide the answer. Now, another feature that you can do out here is, you can also use an image, or you could also use the drawing board, right? So for example, over here, I've used the drawing board where I have 500s plus 20 two tens plus 5 ones. Now, how did I do this, right? Now, Padlet also gives us this option where I can provide answers in the format of an image. So let's say if I have worked out something on a paper and I want to click an image of that and put it on Padlet, I can do that. Or if I am looking at uploading something, I've worked out on maybe, on another site or another whiteboard, I worked out the answer. I've clicked an image, I can upload it from my laptop. I can provide a link as a teacher if I want to share a link of how would you arrive at the answer. Now, you can also see that, there are links which are being created out here in the grid format. You can see that there is an arrow out here which is created, which means that this answer is correct, and that's why it's connecting to this question that has been asked. So I use the whiteboard out here. This is a drawing option. When I go to the drawing option, it allows you to create your drawing 525. So I can say that, okay, 500, or let's say not 500. I can also say 525 can be 400 plus 100 plus 25, right? So I have already put this, I'm saving this, and I'm going to publish it. Okay, where did it go? When we click on these three dots, we get these options. We can upload the answer, we can click an image, we can even record video recording. So depending on the kind of questions that you have asked, you can ask your students to record. You can ask your students to even audio record the answers, screen record where, they are showing some working on the laptop and the laptop is recording your screen. Location is of course used in maps, not in this. Drawing, as I showed you how I wrote 400 plus 100 plus 25. I don't know why it didn't show up. Padlet, you can also share another Padlet link. You can share links. You can share GIF. You can share YouTube links. You can be as creative in your answers as you would want your students to be, right? So over here, as I said that I want answers coming in. So I would like all of you to click on this link, go to the link, type your answer, and let's see how it gets connected. Here it is, 400 plus 100 plus 25. So this is how it shows you that how the question is linked over here. Then there is this link over here. And I'm not creating these links. These links are created because I selected the view, which is the grid view. So I'm not selecting anything. It's just selecting it by default for me. So here you can also use mind maps, where you can actually show students a mind map of something, where you can ask them a question that, okay, today we're going to be studying about, living things. So what are the different kind of living things that you know about? Type. You create the Padlet, share the link with them, and ask them to type. So if they type, for example, if they type living things table. So if the table appears over here, table is non-living. So when you type that, it will not show up over here. So let's type a wrong answer. All right, 500 plus 100. Okay, sorry, this is my name. I'm going to type the wrong answer. 500 plus 100 plus 30. Let's see what happens. Great, I can see this answer over here. So these two are merged together. And you can see that this one posted by me right now is not merged, and neither has it an arrow over here. Okay, the arrow is coming up, but the answer is wrong out here. So you can also choose disconnect from a post. So here, as a teacher, I can choose to disconnect this answer from the post because this answer is not correct, right? So when I share this Padlet, when I'm teaching, and when I share this Padlet live with my students, I want them to see the connections that are being drawn to when I ask them 500 plus 25. What are the different ways in which we can write 525? So the first one is 500 plus 25. The second one is 500 plus 20 plus 5. Then somebody has drawn it. So, okay, that's also correct. Then again, there is another expandable form, 400 plus 100 plus 25. Then we have another expandable form out here. And we can go on and on. We have 1, 2, 3. And then we have this one wrong answer that was given. So all we need to do is click on the 3 dots. Either you want to delete, you can delete as a teacher. You want to maybe disconnect it from a post, or you want to connect it to another post. So basically, this is like a connector. This e-board becomes a connector format for you, where you can create mind maps, you can create correlations, you can add correlations between a variety of things. So, on the board, when we are drawing a diagram, this is how Padlet helps you to draw that diagram when you're teaching virtually. So any doubts regarding the 2 Padlets that we have created? Any doubts till now as to how to create the Padlet? Yeah? Anybody, any doubt, or can I move ahead to the third one? Can I go ahead? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Type in the chat box. Yeah. Yes. So this was, about math. So the reason why I gave example of math is because you can do any subjects. It's not necessary that सिर्फ English ही कराना है या सिर्फ geography कराना है या history करा सकते हैं. You can do any subject. You can do even drawing. You can do because it gives you the option to draw. So agar you want to ask your students that, okay, today we're going to be drawing living things, and you have specified that I want you all to use the drawing option. So then the students will only be using the drawing options, where I just explain that, when you go over here, you will be able to use the drawing options out here. You click on 3 dot and you have the drawing option, and then your students can draw. Or if you want them to submit a GIF, then there is a GIF option. So they can search for the GIF, or they can search for appropriate images, or they can search, for YouTube videos. For example, if you have asked them to study about something and share relevant YouTube videos on what they have studied, then again, they can share the YouTube link. Spotify, of course, and this has been recently added. It wasn't added last year. and websites for reference. If you want to provide any website for reference to other students, then yes. So for example, as a student, if I came across something which I want to share with you, then I will mention that website. So these are the different options which a teacher can use in his or her classroom, and specify or leave it open-ended for students to give their answers. So this was the second option of Padlet. Now, if you were to go to create another Padlet, now some of the common ones which are being used. So sorry, the one which we just used out here, is a canvas. Now, why is it called a canvas? Is because it helps us to connect, scatter, group, and connect the content. So whatever you're teaching, it will help us to group the content, or it'll help us to create a map, like a mind map that you would create for your students to understand better. So that was the canvas. So these are the most widely used. Wall is something which is widely used. Canvas is widely used. Then we also have shelf. I can show you the shelf and stream. This is also very simple, where in shelf, what happens is, as the name suggests, you can stack content in a series of columns. Now, this becomes helpful. Why? I will show you. In this, what you can do is, like, as you can see by default, there is this wallpaper selected. So I'm just going to type an activity. Let's say I'm going to type an answer. You know, I'm talking about, let's say we are doing a book review. If I have asked my students to do a book review, or if I've asked them to read something on a particular topic, it could be any topic. So I'm typing book review, and I'm asking name the character that you like the most, right? So in this, what they have to do is they have to just name the character that they like the most. Now I'll copy paste the link same way I did with you in the earlier Padlet. Now when I create this, I'm ready to post. Now how will the post appear? Now the answers will appear in a section format. Now, why this becomes useful is because you can ask one question at a time. So right now I have asked a question, name the character that you like the most, right? So let's say over the weekend, I have asked my students to read about this particular, or read a particular book, or let's say I've asked them to read, I've shared some content with them, 2-pager with them, and I've asked them to read that 2-pager. Maybe it can be about living things, non-living things. And I've asked them to maybe, list the living things that that was shared in the article, right? So then what the students will do is they will just go on sharing those living things. Name the first section. I'm naming the first section as the first question, right? So I know that my first question is about living things, mentioning living things. So all it appears like, in a section format, and all your students need to do is they just need to go on creating. It'll just go on appearing like on Facebook, how on Facebook we can see post feeds, right? How we can see feeds if somebody has written something, then uske niche, how we can see like a thread. Similarly, over here, you will see a thread of replies. So for example, let's say student one has typed something and we publish, right? Then this next student who wants to type an answer, they will not find the cursor over here, right? They'll find the addition over here, because they have to add to the first section, right? So student 2 will also type something and it will appear in the same section, and it will not appear anywhere on the Padlet. It will not appear to the right, to the left, or it will not connect anything. It will just move in a format, one below the another in a section format, right? Now, once you know that all your students have answered and this section is good enough, then you can add another section the next weekend, where you give them 2 more pages to read, and maybe you introduce non-living things, and then you can say that, okay, mention the non-living things in the article, right? And then you save. So now your students will be able to read that, underline, and type it out here. So again, it will appear in a section, one below the other. And then once you are satisfied with the answers, you can close that section, and then you can add the third section, where you can give them another, maybe you can do another activity. And then your question would be, what is the difference between living and non-living. So this is the question you're asking in your third section. So this is how you can move from one question to another question to the third question in the same Padlet, rather than creating different Padlets for different questions. So when you're teaching a concept, or when you're teaching something for a longer period of time, or when you're teaching something which needs a lot of repetition with your students, especially with students with the different special needs, then we know that there's a lot of content, visual content, that is required. We also know that a lot of repetition is required. Then we can create this kind of format where we know that for revision purpose also, it will be easy for us to explain that, yeah, we did living things, we did non-living things, then the difference between living and non-living is so and so. And then you can also add maybe an activity further than this if the need be. So this is how you can create your Padlets depending on the need, and depending on the kind of activity that you are actually wanting your learners to do and the objective that you want to achieve. Here my objective is to take them step by step from one weekend to another weekend. So maybe I'm doing it over a period of 3 weekends. So then I know that this is something which will give me all the information at one go, and children will be engaged out here. So this was about creating your Padlet, which is the fourth format that we did. Up till now we have, so see, it is asking me to upgrade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this Padlet, delete, enter the code 0896 and delete. Now can I make a Padlet? Yeah, I can create a Padlet. So last year it was basically 3 Padlets that I could create. So this year they have increased the limit of the free Padlets that you can create. Otherwise last year I was deleting 3. I was making 3, deleting 3, making 3. That's how I was using Padlet. So we covered the wall format. Now wall and grid are very similar, and their objectives are similar. Then we covered the canvas format. Then we also covered the shelf format, where you can actually organize your content in section, and you can take it week by week and add questions after a period of time once you're satisfied with the answers. Then if you're a geography teacher, we also have the map format, where I'll just show you how you can create your map format, because usually geography is something which is very abstract when you talk about countries and states and cities. So it's something which is very abstract, where the children are not able to imagine. Of course you can share your screen and show the map, but here again, Padlet, what you can do is you can create your own little Padlet. You can ask them that mark the states in India. So what they can do is they can actually mark the states in India. So that's how mark the states. I'm just going to go next and start posting. So what do is I search, let's say if I am from Maharashtra, I'm going to click on Maharashtra, and it's going to show me where is Maharashtra. Yeah. So it exactly shows where is Maharashtra. And if I were to zoom it, so it can show me all the different states, all the different cities. And if you can zoom out, this is how the map will look like. So it basically allows you and your learners to understand, if you're talking about Maharashtra, where is Maharashtra? If you're covering a history concept and you're talking about, let's say, Shivaji, and what are the different battles that they fought, and which states were those battles fought, then of course you can help them to identify those states. You can help them to mark it on your Padlet that you have created, so they can absolutely understand. For example, Shahpur. If I'm looking at Shahpur, then I need to know where is Shahpur. So here, I need to understand that, where exactly comes Shahpur. And if I were to zoom out, so this is how it will look like. So it kind of makes it more concrete for your learners to understand that, yes, even though you may be sharing a map with your learners in your virtual classroom, but this makes it interactive, and this makes it very, very concrete for your learners to understand what exactly they're studying about, and how and where it appears on the map. So this is something which is, again, a latest feature which has been introduced, and it's pretty good. And a lot of geography teachers are using it in the classroom, and history teachers are using it in the classroom to talk about places of visit or places of historic importance, or even geography for that matter. So that way also it becomes very important to create this Padlet using the map feature, right? Then let's see, I'm going to be deleting this so that I can use another Padlet, right? 6463, delete, and then you can create another Padlet. So this is how you create Padlets. As you can see that, more or less, depending on the objective that you want to achieve. Now this is timeline. How do you create timeline? Is by placing content along a horizontal line. So this is similar to, for example, the stories that we share on Facebook and Instagram, right? So we have, maybe let's say it was a birthday party. So, there is a picture of the cake, then there is a picture of the birthday boy cutting the cake, then there's a probably picture of everybody putting cake on him. So there's like a timeline that is being shown in the story. So similarly over here, when you create this Padlet, what you can do is you can ask your learners to share the step by step revision. For example, if you have taught them about as we were discussing about living things, or we were talking about any concept for that matter, if you're talking about rocks, or we are talking about anything, we're talking about birds. So if you want your learners to understand everything in a time format, in a format which is good for them to revise what they have learned, then this Padlet helps you to do that. So let's say if you're talking about a book that you read over the weekend, right? Now, in this, what I'm asking them to do is I'm asking them to share their timeline and talk about a book that they read over the weekend. Okay. Now let's see how will it appear. Just whatever comes to my mind. I read Matilda and it was very fascinating. So it appears like in a format of a train where all the learners will be able to share their learnings in a time format. So now this is of course one just an example that I've given you. Of course, you can use it for a variety of questions. So for example, timeline based questions like in history, when was this battle fought, or you can ask your students to write down in a sequence, or for that matter even math, where you want them to write down certain operations in a sequence or tables in a sequence, or for that matter, even in history or English, you want them to write down something in a timeline format where you start with something and then you end with something. And over here, if you can see, I can add another timeline. So I read Matilda, what? So I can ask, describe more about the character. So I have asked this question out here. Between this timeline and this timeline, all the answers will appear. So I have asked one question at the beginning and I have asked one question at the end. Now all the answers will appear between these two timelines. So this is how the timeline Padlet looks like, where you usually timeline Padlet is not so commonly used because we are more wanting our learners to interact. Now timeline is again used for very higher grade learners doing a lot of studies and where it involves remembering a lot of dates and stuff. So here for the learners, we don't really use the timeline format as much as we would use it for maybe higher grade learners right from grade 6 onwards. So this was about where you can ask them to create a story in a time format, to maybe write their book review in a time format, or maybe write something that they have learned in a story format. So this was about all about Padlet. Now, any doubts about Padlet before we move to the next? You can copy paste your URL here and your students can join when you're in a live mode with them. And then we also have gallery out here, which will give you examples of Padlets which have already been created by teachers. So you can, maybe draw some inspiration. You can look at these Padlets and then you can create your own Padlet. So if you're confused as to what kind of questions should I ask, you can look at the gallery, which is like a library, and then you can create your own Padlet. depending on what you are really looking at and what exactly you want to ask your students. And of course, upgrade is, which is like you need to pay for that, and I don't think that is necessary. So this is how your account will look like once you create Padlets. And in the upgrade, of course, you will use unlimited, but out here you can only use 5 Padlets, and then you will have to delete to use more Padlets. So any doubts about Padlet before we proceed ahead? Anything anybody would like to ask, or any question, any doubt, any? Can I proceed ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep. All right. Thank you. So the next tool is, I'm just going to shut this window out here. The next tool is quizzes. Now, quizzes is my favorite tool because it makes the teacher's job so easy, and it also allows engagement. And at the same time, it creates excitement because, you feel as if you are participating in Kaun Banega Crorepati, and you're all like wanting to give the answers, and, you're all excited to kind of, have your name show up before others' names show up. So it is very, very engaging, very exciting, and, very, it's very simple, where you don't have to do anything. Majority of the work is already done by this website, quizzes, and all you need to do is, of course, as a teacher, we need to be sure कि मुझे पढ़ाना क्या है, मुझे पूछना क्या है. At least that clarity, if you have, then this tool is absolutely amazing for you. So once you sign into quizzes with your Google account, same way, most of the websites require your Google account to sign in. So once you sign in and you say that you're a teacher, you want to use it for your school students, then you will reach this dashboard, right? Now, once you reach this dashboard of quizzes, you will look at on the left hand side, it says basic account.
Screen share hasn't happened.
Oh, sorry. So sorry. Yes, so the name of the tool is Quizzes, Quizzizz, Quizzes. Of course, there are many other quiz tools. We have Kahoot, we have Quizlet, we have Quizzes. There are 3 to 4 tools on quizzes, but I think quizzes is something which I really find fascinating. Apart from Kahoot and quizzes are 2, good tools which I really find fascinating and very interactive, colorful, and it helps us to achieve our objective. So that's what is very important. Now, when you look at the left side, it is a basic account. So in a basic account, of course, you can you will be given only limited quiz to create. I think it is 3, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to check. I think there are 3 quizzes that you can create, and if you want to do it again, then you need to delete the previous one and then make a new one. You have on the left hand side, you have library, which you can explore, which is very, very amazing. Then also, when you click on create, either you can create a quiz or you can create a new lesson. So just like Google Slide allows us to create presentations, similarly, quizzes allows us to create presentations. And we can ask polls, we can ask fill in the blanks, we can ask questions which are MCQs to our learners by clicking on creating a lesson. So right now I have clicked on create a lesson. Now, which lesson am I creating? Let's say professional development. Yahan pe aa gaya technology, and next. I click here and next. Now it's going to create. It's going to show me the template that I want to create, right? So this is my title slide. I go to add a new slide. When I go to add a new slide, these are the options that I get. Whether I want to create a blank, whether I want to create a text one, just like Google Slide, whether I want to create a title slide, whether I want to create a text and media together, bullets and media, full screen media, embedded page. Then I also get this option of question types. Whether I want to create a multiple choice slide, whether I want to create a fill in the blank, poll, open-ended, draw. So it's very similar to Google Slide. And only thing is, of course, it's not free. I mean, you cannot create unlimited presentations, unlike Google Slides, where you can go on creating unlimited presentations, and it's all saved on the Google Drive. It's all saved on the cloud, right? So here, there is that limitation out here. But yeah, you can use it. So it's in a similar manner, just like you use Google Slide, and add these features. So for example, if I want to create a multiple choice slide, it kind of gives me this format where I can type that, okay, how has multiple choice here. So I'm going to ask you, technology has made things better. So you can say true, you can say false, you can say don't know. And let's say I don't want the fourth option, so I delete it. So there are just 3 options. Now, before I proceed ahead, it will ask me to mark the correct answer by clicking on this. So I'm clicking on this. This is the correct answer. And maybe, yeah, this is the correct answer, right? Now, I have this out here. I can save this. What is the add a title image? I can also create an image if I want to create an image. So once I click on this image, what I can do is I can select either from my desktop, or even I can just click on the search button, and within the website, I will be shown different images related to my title. So I can select any image. Let's say I select this, I insert. So I don't need to go to Google, click on an image, save that image, upload it. I just click on this search icon. I get those images. I select an appropriate, and here it is. Now select grade. So, what grades is it for? 3rd, 4th, 5th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 12th, university, professional development, right? Professional development. Is it visible to everybody, or is it private, or visible to you only? So I say visible to everybody. Save, right? So I have saved this. Now, if I want to share this and present it to all of you, so what am I going to do is, now there are 2 ways in which I can present this. I make it asynchronous, where I assign it as a homework. So when I assign it as a homework, means you will be doing this at your own pace, where I will just share the link with you in the Google Classroom, and you can answer it when over the weekend or whenever I have asked you to take that quiz. Now, if I want to do it live, I don't want to do it like in a this thing. I want to do it live. I don't want to do it asynchronous. So I go back, and I'm going to present it live. So when we present it live, how is it that it's going to appear? Here it is. No, not this one. Created another one. This one has 3 slides. Okay, so let's say if I want to share this live, so I'll start a live. It says show slides on participant devices. Timer, it will show you the timer, show leaderboard, shuffle, play music. Okay. Now, before that, before I present, I have to share the code. When I'm presenting, it will show the code, right? Now, when I want to go live with my students, just like I'm going to go live with all of you. Now, I want all of you to participate live with me. So what all of you are going to do, just like for Mentimeter, you all type mentimeter.com and enter the code. Now, for this, you will type joinmyquiz.com and you will enter the game code, which is showing up on the screen, 034697, right? Can all of you do that? I can also share it via the link. So what I can do is when I go over here, I get the link. So I copy this link and I'm going to share it in the chat also for those of you who want to just click on it and start the game. So I have mentioned the link. I can also share it in Google Classroom. I can share it in Teams, or I can share it via chat, right? Now, once you all join, I will come to know over here how many students have joined. Right now, I can see it's 0. So once you all are able to join, I will be able to start. I can see now 2 students have joined. Supriya, Musfira. Come on, everyone, joinmyquiz.com. 034697 is what you need to type and you will be able to join. It's very simple. You will be allotted a time to answer the question. In that particular time, you have to answer the question. 4, 5. Come on, come on. We need more participation. 6, come on. 7. Anams, yeah. Steffi, great, great. Keep coming. Yeah, Mugda. So once I reach 12, I will start. Okay, 2 more to go. Joinmyquiz.com. Just type that and click on the code, and there we are. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start. Now, all the students who have entered the room, they will be able to take the quiz with me, and I will be the one who will be controlling the slides. And you will be looking at the slides the same way I'm going to be looking at them, right? So it will appear on your screen and it will appear on my screen as well. So let's see how we go ahead with this quiz, right? Now, this is the title slide, of course. This is the first slide. Anybody wants to join in? Last call. Should we start? Okay. Do you feel confident to get back to school? This is your timer. National Education. I've submitted my answer. I've also joined and I've submitted my answers. I'm giving you enough time, and now I will end the question. All right, time's up. Now let's see the leaderboard. Now leaderboard shows how many students answered. This is a chart view. All right, 6 are very confident, 6 are confident, 1 is somewhat, 1 is no, 2 people can't say. So this is how you get a graphical representation of the entire question that you have asked about that particular question that you want to address to your audience, right? Now, participants view. So I know that which were the participants who participated, right? We have 13 participants. Full question view. So this is how it looks like. Do you feel confident to get back to school? Right? Yes, somewhat. No, these were the options that were given to you. So this is how it appears like. So the leaderboard gives you the entire detail about, how, who answered, what are the kind of number, how, what, because it was a poll question. So you will be able to get the entire thing in detail that, how is the poll conducted and what is the result of the poll, right? Now we'll move to the next slide. The question will show up, and there it goes. It's an open-ended question. Teaching with technology has made it and submit, come on. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 replies, 6, 7, 8, and time's up. So then again, we will go to the leaderboard and we will be able to see who has answered what and how was the quiz taken by everybody. So this is a leaderboard. And here we know there were 8 easier for teachers, incorrect responses. Now, why does it say incorrect responses? Now, let's see. Responses view. Easy, better, and super fast. Easier for me. Then we say easier to teach, fun, easy. I don't know why it's showing incorrect. I don't understand this. Full question view is what it'll show like this. Responses view is you can read everybody's responses along with your students, what they have replied, their names also appear. So you will be able to get an in-depth analysis of what your students are thinking. So यहाँ पे we are not only doing quiz and we are saying, okay, chalo, maza aaya, very good, bye, see you. Here we are also actually studying everything. that, who answered, who did not answer, what they answered, how much time did they answer. Like, then we get a chart view that, okay, chart view may again, I don't know why this incorrect answer is being shown, because this was an open-ended question and there is no right and wrong in this. So I don't know about this. So this is how the chart view lets you know that, who answered and what does it look like. Then we have the next slide now coming up. Let's see, this is the last one. Okay. So this is how it shows. There are points. There were 13 participants and the points are being shown out here. View reports. Now, when you go to reports, as I said, that it will give you an in-depth analysis of your students' performance. So you can see, did you enjoy hosting the lesson? Yes, I enjoyed it. Thank you. Submit. So the quiz has ended. You can even share the report. So you can, this is, of course, you can share it only when you have upgraded your account. Otherwise, you can't share it with your school. So Teach with Tech, there were 2 questions that were asked. There were 13 participants. You can download the report. Or you can view your lesson. You can change the questions. You can add more questions. You can play it again. This is how it appears. This is how you will be able to look at your students' reply. The question order, if you want to change the question order, then you can change it. View lesson, live dashboard. Okay, so this is how it shows the top scorers, where they answered within the time limit and they answered appropriately. I don't know why it showed wrong for that second one. But yeah, this is the kind of analysis report that it gives you, the feedback that it gives you. So go home, just close this. Here it is. So this was about the lesson that we made and we shared it live. So when you share it live, this is how it appears, where there is a time given to your learners. They will be able to enter the answers and then you will be able to see who got it correct. And you can also share the report, download the report. Share, of course, you can share it once you have upgraded, but you can also download it. And you can create as many lessons as you want and you can share it live, or you can assign it as a homework to your students. Now, this was about lesson that we created. And when you want to create a lesson, there are similar features which are like in a format of a quiz. So just like, if I want to create a quiz, I'm going to be asking the same types of questions. I'm going to be asking polls. I'm going to be asking MCQs. So those are going to be the same pattern of questions. So let's say if I want to create quiz, I'm going to go on create quiz, new quiz. Now, if I'm not sure about the kind of questions I want to ask, so if I'm doing English out here, enter quiz name, maybe we are doing grammar, then next. All right, now teleport from quiz library. Now, what is this teleport from quiz library? Now, if you're not sure, you're in a hurry, you want to make a quiz, your Monday morning, you want to make a quiz, you're in a hurry. So what you can do is you can just teleport questions from someone else's quiz and put it in your own quiz. Now, how do you do that? Now, let's say if I'm searching for grammar, grade 2 articles. I'm going to click on search. Just like in Google, we type. Same way over here, we're going to type what we are looking out for. Now, when I've typed what I'm looking out for, it'll show up in the library that, okay, these are the kind of quizzes that have already been saved in the library. You can have a look. So for example, if I want to have a look at this, now, yeah, I want to add this question. So I'm going to just click on the right-hand side, add question. Ho gaya. Now, Vijay was shocked to see dash. Now I want to add this also. Ye bhi dal diya. Then I can scroll down. My mother went to the market to buy a dash. Ye bhi dal diya. So see, here I am not wasting time in creating my own questions and thinking. What I'm doing is just like on Google, I would search for something. Similarly, over here, I searched for my kind of, topic and question. It showed up in the library. I opened it. I saw what I want. I just added it to my quiz. Now, if I want to see some other quiz, this is second grade again. This is MCQ. Okay, very good. I want to add an MCQ also. Another MCQ. Let's add this also. Dash woman in the photo. Correct. It's all talking about articles, right? Multiple choice. Now you can scroll down and you can see these were the kind of search English grammar articles. Now, if I want to see another one, it's all MCQ. Now, this is an audio one. So let me add this also. So, okay, I can't add this. Okay, it requires me to upgrade. So let's see. Audio ones require, multimedia requires us to upgrade our account. We can't add it. Yeah, we can't add this. So we can add only MCQs, fill in the blanks. All right. No, this is not what I want. So these are the kind of questions that I have just teleported. You see, I quickly made my quiz. I teleported the questions. I did not make my own questions. And now I'm ready to present this quiz. Now what I can do is, if I want to add some more, I can add. If I want to add a poll, I can add a poll. I want to add fill in the blank, I can add fill in the blank. If I want to add an open-ended question, then I go to open-ended, type my question over here in the same format, just like we use for the lesson. So, for example, what is an article, right? I just want to ask them at the end. And here I'm going to save. And if I want to include a video, I can't include the multimedia feature out here. Just save. And it got added, right? Now, this is how my quiz is ready. Now I can upload a picture over here. So if I go over here, I can type article, click on the search button out here. It's not necessary to add, but you can still add. And I'm just adding this out here as an image, title image, grade 1 to maybe 2, and save. So this is how I've saved it. I can add slides, add draw questions. We don't need it in this quiz, but yes, if you need it, you can do that. Cancel. And your quiz is ready. Now, if you want to present the quiz, it's the same way, where you go and share the quiz live or present it to your learners in the form of a link, which you can share in the chat or which you can share it in the Google Classroom. So same way, the links can be shared in the same way. And just like I presented it, ये हमारा quiz हो गया, teleport हो गया. You can edit this question. So let's say if I don't want this name out here, I can just type, ये हमारा edit भी हो गया. So sometimes you want to change certain names or change something within the question, you can quickly change it and your work is done. So this is how I've done. I'm going to save it. Article, save. All right, this is done. Now it'll ask me to present, start the live quiz. Now if I want to start it, it'll appear in the same way, just like I did the poll with you, right? So when I start, you will be shown a code. You will go to quizzes.com, you will enter the code, then we will play the game, right? Now you might be wondering, every question has seconds. So if I want to alter those seconds, then how do I alter those seconds? So you can edit, you can go into edit your quiz, and then you can alter the number of seconds, or you can just keep it unlimited, where you don't give any kind of timer to your children. So you can do that also. So you just don't need to have that timer out here. So if I want to say edit, go to edit, and I will alter the timer. Where is the timer? Yeah. So whether you want to keep it 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 seconds, depending on what you want to do, or you want to even remove the timer. So there is an option of removing also. Okay, that option of removing of timer is not here. Topic, what topic you want to add it? You want to add it as grammar. So you've saved it. Save it. So each question you can adjust the timing, and you're all ready to present your quiz now. So you can present it live, play with your learners, or you can assign the link into your Google Classroom, ask your learners to go through it over the weekend or whenever you have asked them to play that particular quiz. So when I started, it's going to be in the same format where the code will be shown. So there is classic, students progress at their own pace, and you see a leaderboard, instructor pace. So even in the live quiz, there are two formats where it is instructor pace, where I will decide that, okay, whether now we need to move to the next question or not. And if it is classic, then the students decide that, okay, now I'm done with this question, I can go to the next one. So for example, if I pick on classic, then we continue. So again, you have to attempt this. You type joinmyquiz.com, enter the code, or else I'm also sharing the link out here in the chat box. And this is the last quiz. And after this, we shall end our session. So you can click on this, you can enter. Yeah, so we can start. And now you will be able to take the quiz at your own pace. I'm not going to control the questions. I'm not going to click on next. I'm only going to be able to see the leaderboard. So I will know that, okay, who's answering, who's participating. Here you can see the scores for every question. These are the questions. I know that, okay, you're around question 2 now. I know who's reached question 3 or 4. So as a teacher, I'm looking at the scoreboard. I'm looking at how many students are taking the quiz right now. I'm looking at the kind of answers being given right now. Everybody is moving at their own pace. Everyone is thinking and doing it without me moving the question. I'm just going to end the quiz. I want to end it right now. And that's about it. Now I'm going to get the results. And let's see who came first and second and third. Okay, very good. So this is how it shows that, how many the students took the questions and who got the maximum correct hits and who scored maximum. So yes, now if I want to see the class answered 31% questions correctly. Okay. So in this, I also come to know that, okay, which are the questions which my students found it difficult. So I come to know that. Then tough question 5 was tough. It was answered incorrectly by 2 out of 7. So I know that, okay, it was an open-ended question. So I know that my learners have difficulty answering open-ended questions. So I will not ask those kind of questions, right? Or maybe I will keep those questions very limited, or I'll attach very few marks. Longest question, what is an article? It took 10 seconds, right? Open-ended question, tha. Interesting facts. 3 questions had an accuracy of less than 40%, time to be investigated. So maybe I need to increase the time limit. So this is the kind of feedback as a teacher I get if I want to assign the quiz to all of you. So the next time I know that, okay, mujhe time extend karna hai, mujhe open-ended questions nahi puchne hain, then I also have to see that the questions are very simple and something which does not take more than 10 seconds to answer or more than 20 seconds to answer. So this is how I get a feedback. And then of course I can go deeper into it and I can evaluate who answered what correctly. I will be able to see the participant's name and you can just go through it and you can even email it to the parents. But I think this is, oh, I can do that. Okay. I thought this was an upgrade feature. So I can email the report to the parents that this quiz was taken and this is the reply that your child has given. So this was all about quizzes where you can create unlimited quizzes. If you don't have questions, you can teleport the questions from other people's quiz that they have already prepared. You can be creative, you can add MCQs, you can add polls, you can add fill in the blanks, you can add open-ended questions, you can keep it very short and simple so that it creates engagement, or you can make it complicated depending on the kind of students you have in your classroom. So this was all about quizzes and Padlet that we were supposed to cover today. Of course, I extended my class way beyond, but I think I had to show all these features before you actually start discovering and start practicing these tools. So this was all about today's session, quizzes and Padlet. I hope that you will be able to try these two tools, experiment with it. The more you experiment, the more you will be able to learn, and the more your doubts will be solved. And in case there is any doubt regarding these two tools, you can definitely email it or share your questions with Miss Rashna, and I will be more than happy to answer. Or you can join a community where we're always sharing. Yeah. So over to you, Miss Rashna. I'm done.
Thank you so much. In fact, I mean, it was a huge surprise for me because I've been wanting to learn Padlet since such a long time.
Okay.
I was part of a setup where I was the student, and working on the Padlet, and I was always wondering कि ये कैसे बनाना है. So yeah, excellent, timing actually when I want to use it with my students too. And quizzes, of course, will take a little more time, at least for me to, understand and use.
Quizzes, of course, it looks complicated, but believe me, it's very simple. Once you go on the plus button and start creating your quiz, if you have your questions ready and written in a paper in front of you, you just type it out, add the options, and aapka quiz ban gaya. And it's very simple, but there are a lot of features which in terms of the teacher feedback, teacher reflection, कि teacher को कैसे reflect करना चाहिए, क्या-क्या देखना चाहिए, कौन सा question difficult था, कौन सा question में ज़्यादा time लगा. So ये जो tool है, this tool gives all this information, and that's why I like this tool compared to other tools. Yeah. So great. I hope that you all will use this tool and practice it. And I'm sure that once you are able to practice it, you will get it.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that we have to cut the session without the question answers coming in. But if you have any, I will definitely forward it to Rakhee and she will get back to us. So thank you all. Thank you, Rakhee, so much. Really wonderful listening to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being patient and listening to me. Thank you so much. Yeah. Bye-bye. Have a nice weekend ahead.
Bye.